All right, hello everyone. It's Graydon here. I'm here with one of my clients, Xavier Pearson. He's the practice administrator out at New Life Medical Centers. They're in Greenville, South Carolina. How you doing, Xavier? Thanks for coming on.
Doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's start this off how I usually start off most interviews. How did you? I think we started working together a while ago, Xavier, and I know that you actually signed up for our old program, but then we restarted with this new one, right? So let's just track all the way back. Can you? I know it's kind of like far back, but can
Oh
you
no, I
remember?
remember.
You remember? Okay, perfect. So do you remember like how you first came across Forever Booked, what the sort of situation you were in, and why you
Yeah.
decided to reach out to us in the first place?
Sure. So I came into our practice as an administrator, and my charge was to make the aesthetics department profitable. And since we're an integrated health clinic, we have lots of differing things happening. But the previous administrator was not really attuned with what needs to happen for an aesthetics practice to do well. The main thing is revenue. Obviously, we didn't have patients or a good, clear process for how to convert people to patients or a good lead source. I was looking on the internet and found a competitor who was trying to, I guess, rename themselves and steal leads from Forever Booked. Um,
Oh, was it fully booked?
it was fully booked, and
Uh,
so I specifically asked them for recommendations because, of course, they had a great sales pitch, and they gave me some.
yeah.
But I guess they're not used to people actually calling them. So I called all 10 recommendations. And of the 10, I was able to connect with four of them. Three of them no longer worked with Fully Booked. And they said, yeah, we did something for about a month and then it kind of trailed off and it wasn't great.
Mm.
But one had a very unique experience in where she got 30,000 fake leads. And she
Wow.
literally is like me. So she called every single one of them. They were all made up people. None of it made any sense. And I found you guys just looking for Fully Booked to try to find out if they're legitimate. They had several other names.
Yeah.
So fast forward, was able to actually get in touch with you. And because we were so scared at that point, we're like, oh gosh, we're not sure we're ready to start anything. So a couple months went by, and then we pulled the trigger and started the old campaign, which was phenomenal. We started learning more about the process for sales in aesthetics, and my experience has been in surgical aesthetics as well. But just fine tuning our operational process was really helpful in the beginning. And we got sort of our feet wet, and then decided, okay, we're going to be serious about this and get our leads going. And so fast forward, changed into the program that we're in now, and we're super super happy about it. We get a great number of leads every weekend. They're qualified leads. We work with Anna, probably not the most attentive campaign because we've been growing so fast that I needed to focus my attention on other things. But now we've got a cosmetic injector on board and an esthetician on board that's taking over a lot of the process for me, and they are full speed ahead with Anna, and I should say, and the team, because there's a great team of people. We just love Anna to
Yeah.
death over here, but it's been a fantastic experience so far.
That's awesome. So we actually had a bit of a weird start, right? Because you started on our last program, which was like done for you, where we do everything for you. And I think there was just a bunch of there a bunch of delays that happened. I think
Yes,
what
so
what
it
actually happened
was
there? I forget what
mostly
happened
on
there.
our end. We just had issues with the staffing because the nurse practitioner who was here actually left. And then we were trying to focus on our
Mm.
campaign because we were actually working with a different marketing partner through the equipment company, through Alma Lasers, who
Okay.
paired us with a group, and they just weren't performing what we didn't want to have concurrent ads going at the same time. We're super
Yeah.
careful about not being, sanctioned by Facebook, and so it was like, let's try to take it a little
Yeah.
slower. And then because
Yeah.
I was the case manager for the aesthetics department, as well as being the administrator for this very, very busy practice, my training would take longer than probably most people's would. So it just took us a while to get copy ready and the ads going. But once we started, we took off.
Yeah, that's great. So what's been the workload like on your end, Xavier? Because this program, it's like it's done with you, so you do the implementation in clinic. how long has it realistically taken you, and how much effort has been required on your end to get these campaigns
So the first campaign, it was really, really, really simple. I just told
going?
Anna, and it was automatically done. Everything was great.
Yeah.
In the new
Yeah.
campaign, it's a little different thought process, but I like the fact that we can contribute our own input to it. And the coaching calls every week help when we have, little small issue we need to pop in and just handle real quick. Of course, we can have one-on-one time when we need it, but we like going to those too because other people can have issues that we don't know we're going to have yet. So it's great to attend those. But I would say, I mean, it's kind of set it and forget it. I mean, once we put our
Yeah.
campaign in motion in June, it was just lead after lead.
Yeah.
Like and we can pour more money on it if we want to and get more people. We
Yeah.
have intentionally not because I wanted to onboard our new team members first. But we're getting ready to start
Yeah.
some new campaigns next month that will involve IV, sexual health, and the IPL laser. And I mean, we're pouring money on it because we know it's going to work. So
Yeah. So right now you're running the laser facial, right? 190. It's the 147.
yes,
Yeah, the Forever Young laser package, 147 for laser facial plus get 20 units of tox for $8 a unit. So that's the current ad. And you say it's been running since June.
yes,
Still cranking out leads.
still cranking leads. That's right.
Yeah, that's crazy. And like this is really important because there's this misconception like that when you run campaigns, you always have to change it like month to month, right? When I talk to med spa owners, they're like, okay, how long is this campaign going to run for? And then what are we going to do right after? And the fact is that the way I look at it is like, if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's like keep the campaign running. If it continues to produce your leads and it's profitable, just leave it there. And then like that's the beauty of doing this type of marketing. It's like you hire an agency and you think that the agency is like in there every day making tweaks to the ad to make it working. But since we started off with a really good offer, it's like a great offer, right? It's like you get a laser facial or you get the plus you get discounted talks. Like the offer is good, and when the offer is good, you can literally set it and forget it.
That's right.
So that's great. So
The other
think of
thing
it.
I'll say about it too is we could have changed it. I mean, there
Yeah.
were weeks where we didn't get as many leads, but the danger with that is if you get too many and you don't work them well, that's wasting money. And so we wanted to make
Yeah.
sure we refined our process, and especially with new clinics, if you're trying to figure out how to sell with all the resources you guys give us, it's great to space them out and then make sure that we're able to convert them to patients. So. But
Yeah.
the ad has reverberated very well with people. We had a couple of issues in the beginning just because of how we were talking about the campaign with patients when they call in, and so we worked to make sure that we didn't have people um, want just the 147, but they really are interested in changing their appearance and open to campaigns and
Yeah.
programs. But and we had a few people that were just like, nope, I just want the 147, and those people are out there, but we learned to weed them out very quickly.
Yeah, that's important, right? Because that's going to be common whenever you launch any sort of like intro offer. So how did you approach that? What were you saying before on the phone when you talk to people, and what are you saying now to like properly set expectations and weed people
So
out?
before on the phone, we were just answering the asked questions. So if they said, "Okay, how much is
Yeah,
it?" 147. Be like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay." And I get the talks for $8. Yes. And then they come in, and that's exactly what they want. We haven't asked them any questions about their appearance, about their skincare regimen, about their expectations, what they've tried in the past. And so we just hone that process down to ask more questions on the front end. And granted, there are some people that are just like me. Actually, I'm one of those people. If I say it's 147, that's all I want, that's all I'm going to do. But the
yeah,
majority of patients have questions about their appearance, and they trust us as
yeah,
subject matter experts. And so we are high ticket sales practice in general. And are used to
yeah,
doing that in other departments. And so we just applied some of our knowledge from what we know about that to this, but also used a lot of the training things that you guys have given us to help hone in that. And we're still working on it because
yeah,
my affect is different than all of my teams. And so I'm a very direct communicator. I will ask
yeah,
anybody for $1 million. I don't have any shame or fear about any of it. I'll walk from room to room and do weight loss, sexual health, IV, aesthetics. It doesn't matter. Everybody's different. And so finding their niche with that was important. And Anna's been really helpful to help coach some people on just different scenarios and come up with some role play sessions that we can use to help people grow.
Nice. No, that's key. It's a staff, right? Like the staff, it's a whole team that are implementing these programs. So they
Yes,
need to all be on board.
that's right.
And how are they dealing with the software? Like was that much of a learning curve? How's that working for you guys right now, like working the software on a daily basis?
So, twofold answer. One disclaimer is we are very technology focused as a practice. So, it's
Yeah.
hard to be on this team if you're not used to being a little bit malleable when it comes to what systems we use. We've used several CRMs, and thankfully, we have our own high level account as a firm itself. So, we use that
Okay.
for our other departments. However, we did not have the AI intelligence aspect of it built into it the way that you guys have. So we've actually implemented that into other processes
Oh,
because of
nice.
what we see with you guys. And so patterning what we do with you after that into the other process has been really helpful. I'll say, as far as learning curve, high level is one of the easiest programs to use, and you guys have made it even easier than
Yeah.
it is when you get it as a shell, because everything's really succinct and laid out. And so if you're a new clinic and you don't know anything about it, but you know how to read, you can literally just click it, and it's just ready made, turnkey and ready to go. You just have to pick what pictures you want to use, and you can run pretty much
Yeah.
most of the basic ad campaigns pretty
Yeah.
simply.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So we're running the IPL right now, or sorry, we're running the laser facial. You said the next one you want to run is the IPL
Yeah, it'll be
campaign, right?
IPL. We're actually going to run 3 or 4. So it'll be
Oh,
IPL,
nice.
laser hair removal. We're going to do an IV campaign and then a sexual health campaign.
Oh, nice. So four different campaigns. You're just gonna launch them all at
That's
once.
right.
Get them
We've
going.
learned our lesson, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
trust you guys now. So the formula works. The process works really well, and I like the fact that I can see high level what all the team is doing, so we can have different pipelines for different things in there. But yeah, we're running all 4.
Yeah. It's crazy how much you can customize the software. Like it's incredible. Like with the multiple pipelines, you can assign conversations to people. Like you can really build it out exactly how you want it.
Well, and we have AI. We've developed it even further than it was initially, and then like we take payments in there for either you
Yeah.
want to pay for the whole package, but we
Yeah.
pay reservation fees there. We send them the new patient paperwork, and so hopefully we are trying to talk our EHR company into platforming itself so that it can be HL7 bidirectional um, with high level, so that we can connect them. Right now, they only use another person who's terrible, who we've used before. It's just not that great. And then they use HubSpot too, which is a little too big for what we want. So we want it
Yeah.
to connect, but for right now, we don't care. We're still going to use high level. I mean, it's better than the other products. And we've been on 7 since I've been here, so I'm pretty well
Wow.
aware of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like you want to get these things to integrate, but yeah, EMRs are pretty notorious for not wanting to, get along with other softwares as well.
Thankfully, the EMR we're going to is called Servo, so it's focused on integrated practices that do a lot of cash and high ticket. But they right
Oh, it's
now
called
integrate
Serial.
with Active Campaign, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
a no go. We're like, nope, that won't work. We don't want that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So your goal when you signing up with us was to improve the aesthetic side of the practice, right? So
Correct.
have you got some success there? How's the aesthetic side looking compared to when you first started?
Sure. So initially, we were catching a couple flies. I mean, it was like we'd have an incidental person come in and they might sign up for a package. There was no surety with any of it, and we've got bills to pay. Like we've got equipment to pay for, and so now, and this sounds like a really low number because we. So remember, this has been me doing it as the administrator, not with the full practice and team.
Yeah,
We got to a regular number of 10,000 a month. And so that doesn't
nice.
sound like a big number, but overall for us, going from 0 to that is huge. And
Yeah,
that's also because of who was delivering the care. We didn't have anybody to actually do it except for 2 days a week. So we were doing that much. And our leads that were coming in, we weren't even working them. That was the other problem. It was like we've got leads and
yeah,
nobody's working them. So now, like
yeah.
looking out for Monday, we've got all 10 new patient slots filled. And like last week, we beat our goal. We made more last week than we did in the last 6 months for the department.
Damn.
So yeah,
Wow.
just turning it up and doing the process, and we
Yeah.
knew it would work. We just weren't ready staffing wise. So our numbers don't
Yeah.
look like the growth that we've had, but that's because I'm very much a ready, aim, fire person, and wanted to be sure we were ready before we turned it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit once we get these 4 campaigns running. Like
Yes.
that's gonna really blow things up. And you probably have like more buy-in too from the rest of the staff or the rest of the team, right? Because they're like, oh, okay, now we're actually getting some traction for the aesthetics. Maybe this is something we should put more resources into as
Well,
well.
they've learned to trust me. So as an administrator, I am not a details person. I don't like sitting and reading
Yeah.
reports and stuff like that, but I can tell you the details if I look at something. And so very early on, I realized what the issue was with our department. And since we've grown so much in the last 2.5 years, they are used to me saying, hold on, we just need to do this. And so our esthetician started 2.5 weeks ago, and she's up to speed completely in our process and did a bang up job last weekend. So we're doing hand over fist at this point. So
Congrats. That's awesome. I'm glad you're able to like accomplish your goal and like get further along this goal, right? Do you
yes.
have a goal? Do you have a like a target that you want to hit to for the
Oh,
monthly
absolutely.
revenue of the aesthetics?
I want to be at about 150 per location, per
Yeah,
month.
just the aesthetics.
Just
Total or just
aesthetics.
the aesthetics?
Just aesthetics.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And how many locations right now? Like, I know there's the one
We're
right
actually
now.
looking
Are you
for our
building
second
more?
right now. We're looking for a place to
Nice.
be. But with respect to aesthetics, I know just financially where we can be because we offer almost surgical level services, and so there's no reason not to hit that. That's actually a really, really conservative number for the amount of
Yeah.
patients that come
And
through.
then how many rooms would you have
We have
to
three
achieve
rooms
that?
plus the IV bays.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's totally doable. Right on.
We just need
Well,
Anna
I
to
think
come
that's.
here, and if Anna comes here, then I won't have to do anything. I'll just sit back.
Maybe we should start charging for. Actually, I can't let her do that. She needs to. Yeah.
Oh, I
Maybe she'll
told her
start
don't
doing
even
like
offer it because we
consulting
would
on the
pay it.
side.
I told her we would pay it. I
Yeah,
said, don't
it's
even
full
offer
time
it
at
because
your
we'd pay it and it'd be
place.
bad.
Yeah. No, Anna's incredible. She's incredible. Cool, Xavier. Well, last question here. I always like to finish with this one. So, yeah, to any clinic that's watching this, they probably have a number of like, um, skepticisms, maybe they have limiting beliefs, especially like a really common one is I'd say two, like a really common one is tech, right? Like people are like, I'm not a tech person, therefore I can't be in the software, like launching these campaigns. I need to just get a marketing agency to do it for me. But then that creates a host of other issues because there's like communication gaps, and I've just seen so many bad outcomes going that route. So, as a tech person yourself, and someone who's more, skilled and versed and has more experience with this, what would you say to someone who's like is not a tech person that's thinking of doing this but is not super confident about their tech ability?
So and one thing I left out, I intentionally engaged with a team member who is terrible and horrible at tech.
Yeah,
She is
yeah,
now a super user and schedules all of our patient
no way.
visits. So because I wanted to be sure that this was something that we could duplicate, it can't be hinged
Yeah,
on me being able to use a system and software well. I think giving it undivided attention, a couple times per month is probably all that it takes. If you have people who follow up on your leads and call them, they will start. And I know sometimes for like smaller med spas, it seems like a big dollar amount. It's like, oh, I could just give this to an ad company or whatever, they can do
yeah,
it for you. But if you don't have that personal touch in the med spa and aesthetics world, the patient's not coming. They're not. You're going to end up spending more money than it's worth. And so I would say, if you have worries about the tech, just take a quick peek at high level. It's like so easy to use. And if you can chart, you can use high level. It's just literally that simple.
yeah,
You can make it work for you. And so there's things that you can add. And actually, on the call the other day, there was a practice who is growing and getting their feet wet. And they're like, okay, we'd like to have an initial response be AI generated. And it was like, okay, we can change that. But the workflows are already built out, and you just have to talk to your I should say coach, or I don't even remember what we call it. She just Anna to us, and everybody acts like she's a part of our team. So, but talk to your
yeah,
person and tell them what your
yeah.
desires are, and the team takes a great effort to make sure that it's in English, that you're not speaking tech language. But
Yeah.
it's so super simple to run that it's actually encouraged people on our team. And we've got people on our team who would do no tech stuff at all that are now saying, hey, I think with this campaign, let's tweak this or let's make this workflow this way. So
Oh, that's
it's definitely
awesome.
usable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like it gives people confidence too. It's like a new skill that they unlocked, right? It's like I didn't think I can do this, but now I can. So yeah, that's great. Anyone who considers themselves not to be a tech person, I would really, really question that belief because it's hard to do a lot of things now while not being a tech person, right? Because everything really is tech. But the
Well,
thing
there
is
are people
that,
that are not tech people, and I just tell them do it anyway and call the other
yeah,
practices. We all like helping each other, and I mean we're on the call and we'll give suggestions and stuff. Sometimes before the coach even gets to the question, we're able to answer it. So I wouldn't let that hold you back at
yeah,
all. If you can turn the computer on, you can do it.
exactly. Awesome. Well, yeah, those are all the questions from me, Xavier. Thank you so much for hopping on. You guys have been crushing it. And yeah, let's just continue moving forward. I'm super excited to see the results of those 4 campaigns, and also for your new location. That's very exciting as well.
Yes. Money, 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 money.
All right, thanks again, Xavier.
Thank
You have a
you.
great day, and yeah, thanks so much for hopping on once again.